wavelength, that is shorter the wavelength, more the scattering. That is why blue gets scattered during the daylight. But during the evenings, what happens? The distance between the earth and the sun increases, due to which red light gets, that is, the blue light is going outside, only red comes inside. That is why the appearance of the sky is orange in color during the sunset. This you will understand in this video. Before going to the video, we'll see another small thing. It happens in three things. One is Rayleigh scattering, Mie scattering. The third one is non-selective scattering. So non-selective scattering is when the particle diameters are much larger than the wavelength. If this is the wavelength size, the particle size is much more bigger than the wavelength size, then non-selective scattering takes place. Common with water droplets, volcanic dust and clouds. Scatters all the wavelengths equally, which is non-selective. So that is why the clouds appear to be white in color. These all three concepts, that is Rayleigh scattering, Mie scattering and non-selective scattering, you will understand with this video. Why does the sky appear blue during the daytime and during sunset it appears orange? It is because of scattering of light in the atmosphere. Now, the sun passes the electromagnetic radiation through the atmosphere. This atmosphere consists of nitrogen and oxygen molecules, and the sun comprises of different colors of visible light, which comes from VIBGYOR. Those are the 7 colors. When these 7 colors come in contact with the nitrogen and oxygen molecule, these particles scatter blue light more than green, yellow, orange and red light. That is why the sky appears blue in color, and this is called as Rayleigh's scattering. This is blue color, that is Rayleigh scattering. But during sunset, what happens? The sun moves somewhere else, and the sunlight has to pass through a greater distance through atmosphere. While passing, it comes in contact with nitrogen and oxygen molecules, and which are of denser in nature. That is why it results in scattering of yellow, orange and red color predominant lights more than blue color. That is why the sky appears orange in color during the sunset, and this is called as Mie scattering. I hope you all are clear with this. I hope you all are now clear with the concept. Now we move to nature of scattering. The type of scattering is a function of wavelength, size and molecule, size of the gas, molecule, dust particles, water vapor droplet encountered. So Rayleigh scattering happens when it comes with gas molecules. Mie scattering happens because of the smoke or dust particles, and non-selective scattering happens when the size of the particle is more when compared to the wavelength size. So these are the different types of atmospheric scattering. Now we go to something called as atmospheric absorption. It is completely different from scattering. Absorption is wherein the process by which incident radiant energy is retained by the substance. So if I consider a sponge and water is poured on the sponge, then what happens? The water is absorbed by the sponge, and only some quantity of water passes through the sponge once the sponge capacity is like full. So that is the case, same case when in the terms of atmosphere. The atmospheric particles, that is in terms of gas or particulate matter, they absorb their own radiations. Once it is enough, they either emit back the other type of radiation in different frequencies, wavelengths, and we get different radiation. This results in an irreversible transformation of radiation into another form of energy. The medium will only absorb a portion of the total energy. The total energy will be either reflected, refracted, or scattered. So again the same process takes place, that is scattering, reflected or refracted. Now if this is the sun, okay, sun emits the electromagnetic radiations, then some part is scattered, 9% is scattered by air, 29% is reflected by the clouds, 2% is reflected by the surface of the earth, 47% predominantly the electromagnetic radiations are absorbed by the surface, and 19% is absorbed by the cloud gases and water vapor. So absorption comes in picture here. This is clear, you will understand here. Sun gives out 100% of radiation, out of which 17% is absorbed by water vapor, dust and ozone layer. Then 4% is absorbed by the clouds, 47% is absorbed by the surface of the earth. Then it comes in contact with the when it comes in contact with the water bodies, that water bodies reflect the radiations of 7%. When it comes in contact with the cloud, 19% is reflected and 6% is reflected by the air. Now once this absorption takes place, out of which 15% longer wavelength radiation is emitted back, and out of which 7% is absorbed by the clouds, water vapor, carbon dioxide and ozone layer, and remaining 8% is going on top. 40% is emission by water vapor, carbon dioxide and ozone layer. Again 20% is emitted by the cloud, and 25% lateral heat is transferred to the atmosphere again. So this is the percentage of individual element wherein absorption and scattering takes place. So once the absorption happens, there is something called as atmospheric window. Now what is this atmospheric window? You'll need to imagine this part. Because of the ozone layer, water, carbon dioxide and other molecules in the atmosphere, these certain radiations coming from the sun, harmful radiations, is absorbed by all these different molecules present in the atmosphere. As a result, we only get certain portion of electromagnetic radiation. This phenomena is called as atmospheric window. In remote sensing, sensors are built to pick up those specific spectral bands. Now, all the electromagnetic spectrum rays do not hit the Earth's surface. Atmospheric absorption prevents specific type of electromagnetic radiation to pass through the atmosphere. The uppermost atmospheric blocks 100% of the gamma rays, X rays and UV rays, and mostly ultraviolet light. So here you all can see that X rays, UV rays are mostly blocked, and that is why this blue color is visible. That is, the radiations electromagnetic radiations of X-rays and UV rays are not passing the surface of the earth. That is why it is blank here. Then only the visible light passes the surface of the earth. That is why it is shown like this. That is called as the visible window. Then we go to infrared region, wherein this one, this and these are not allowed to enter the surface. Only certain portion is allowed, and that is called as infrared window. Then certain portion of microwaves waves are allowed to pass, and that is creating microwave window. Then all the radio waves are allowed to enter the surface of the earth. That is completely, it is transparent, and that is called as a radio window. Now to make you all imagine this, think of an atmospheric window like a curtain with a hole. Now this curtain will, if through the hole itself only certain portion of light is coming out from there, okay, this curtain holds the specific light, that is all the light is held by the curtain of window curtain, and only through the hole the light is passing. So similar to this concept, the atmospheric window works, wherein the atmosphere acts as a window to the light, and certain portion of electromagnetic radiations are absorbed or kept there itself with the help of that atmospheric window. So this is another graph wherein you will try to understand. This is the window which is blocking the ultraviolet rays and visible rays. Only certain part of refracted infrared region, that is these, are allowed to pass through the surface of the earth, and then comes thermal infrared and far infrared. So this is electromagnetic atmospheric window. Now primary absorbers in terms of atmospheric window are water vapors, carbon dioxide and ozone. So predominantly nitrogen and oxygen are the elements which absorb more quantity of the radiations. So this region wherein microwaves and radio waves are absorbed, and here gamma rays and X-rays are absorbed by ozone layers. The next, with the help of carbon dioxide, visible light, certain quantity of infrared rays, microwaves are absorbed. Then water absorbs a certain quantity of visible light, infrared rays and microwaves. So when I combine all these three, that is nitrogen absorptions together, then I get this kind of bandwidth. Wherever this white portion you all see, that is called as atmospheric window. I hope you all are clear now. Now how is this atmosphere? Now you all understood what is the concept of electromagnetic radiation with respect to atmosphere. Now how does this help or impact the remote sensing? Remote sensing limits the remote sensing spectral bandwidth. Sensors are designed around these windows. So wherever there are window gaps provided, we go with provision of different type of satellites so that they can sense those particular type of rays or electromagnetic bandwidth. This is how remote sensing works, and this is the concept wherein electromagnetic radiation interaction of electromagnetic radiation with respect to the atmosphere. I hope you all are clear with these concepts. If you all have understood, then comment understood, and along with your USN and division, that will be considered as your daily attendance. Those who have not watched the previous videos, kindly watch it and comment understood. We'll consider it for your daily attendance. Thank you.